like to jump to the IRS. The Commissioner, John Koskinen, he's been testifying up on Capitol Hill. And one thing that he testified I wanted to ask you about, he said that he didn't know about the lost emails from Lois Lerner until April. But then, of course, the IRS did not inform Congress until June. Is that an acceptable level of transparency, do you think? 2 months that the Commissioner of the IRS knew about these lost emails, but yet Congress wasn't told until June?
Well, Jim, I can't account for that timeline, so I'd encourage you to direct that question to the IRS. I guess the one thing that does seem obvious
is whether that is acceptable to this White House.
Well, I think the thing that's
2 months to go by.
Well, I think there's a question that's begged, though, by your construction, which is, what would Congress have done had they known about it in April or May or whenever the Commissioner first learned about it? The fact of the matter is that that there's not anything that is tangibly different about the situation right now. So this administration...
No releasing the information. Why wasn't that information
well,
passed
again,
along?
Jim, as I mentioned, you should check with the IRS about this. But the fact of the matter is our commitment to cooperating with legitimate congressional oversight, and in some cases illegitimate congressional oversight, is pretty well documented. But I'll go through it again because it's pretty entertaining.
Are you saying Darrell Iss's oversight is illegitimate?
I'm saying that there are legitimate questions that can be raised about the partisan motivation of some of those who are conducting oversight in this circumstance. The fact of the matter is there have been 17 congressional hearings into this matter, 2 in the last 17 hours, and 3 in the last 24 hours. So they've had as many congressional investigations into this in the last 24 hours as I've had meals. That seems like a lot. 30 interviews with IRS employees, 50 written congressional requests, 750,000 pages of documents. After all of that, after 3 long congressional hearings in the last 24 hours, 0. That's the other key number here, 0. 0 evidence to substantiate any of the partisan Republican claims about this matter.
Isn't the problem here, though, Josh, is that you have a key figure in this
I
controversy?
think you and I might have different ideas about what the problem is.
Well, here's the problem. But the
right?
problem is
Because
that
I think the problem is that
emails,
despite all of this, we have seen an unwillingness.
Right, but doesn't that sound like the dog ate my homework? When you have 2 years of missing emails, it just on the face of it, doesn't sound credible, isn't it?
I guess if you listen solely to the arguments that are offered up by Republicans, you might have reason to question their credibility. I agree with that. Because the fact of the matter is that despite the failure of the hard drive, as has been well chronicled, the fact of the matter is 24,000 emails from that time period have been reconstructed and produced to Congress. Again, because of our commitment to cooperating with congressional oversight in this matter. That's what we've been focused on. So again, I understand why your eyebrows are raised when you see Republicans on Capitol Hill suggesting that there are 2 years of missing emails. It's not true. A large chunk of those emails have already been provided to Republicans in Congress. So when they say that, it is an indication, I think, that they're becoming increasingly desperate to try to substantiate the conspiracy theories that they've been propagating for some time now. But again, the key number here is 0. 0 evidence to support the claims that are made by Republicans in this matter.
And the President's comfortable with the level of disclosure and
for all the reasons that I cited. 13 months of congressional hearings, 17, including 3 in the last 24 hours. I think that our record of cooperation on this is probably something you're tired of hearing about right now. But again, it's so long.
Just asking the question.
That,
but the White House is also comfortable with the TIGTA, the people at TIGTA looking into the missing emails.
Well, I think
that's appropriate.
TIGTA is the Inspector General and they're independent, so I wouldn't render a judgment on their activities, and I don't think it'd be appropriate for me to, and they're independent.